In this forecast, we're talking about significant severe weather with damaging winds, large to very large hail, and tornadoes. In addition, we're seeing some very heavy rainfall and some flash flooding across the United States as we go through the rest of this week and into the upcoming weekend. We look at the long range through Father's Day weekend, and that indicates potentially more significant severe weather across the United States. We'll look at the tropical weather update in this video. If you are here, make sure to give it a like, a thumbs up, turn on your post notifications so you're notified for future videos and live streams we do here. Subscribe to the channel as we do daily weather forecast videos, and share it with a friend, a family member, anybody that you do know, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Let's look at the severe weather threat for today. We have a slight risk of severe weather, a 2 out of 5 on the risk scale across western Illinois, portions of Missouri, southeastern Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas, where we could have some scattered severe weather this afternoon and this evening. Marginal risk of severe weather, 1 out of 5, extending up into Wisconsin, parts of northern lower Michigan, and the UP of Michigan as well. Looking at the main threats here of damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, especially in this yellow shaded color from Macomb, Illinois, all the way down here into Abilene, Texas, where we could be seeing wind gusts again over 60 miles per hour, and we could have a threat for some quarter-size hail as well, especially here in the yellow shaded color from southeastern Kansas, central Oklahoma, and into north central Texas. The hail threat does extend up into the UP of Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois, and Missouri, but those areas have a lesser chance of hail because the instability is a little bit weaker up there. There is a chance of tornadoes. It's a low chance. It's not zero. It's a 2% here from Texas all the way to southern Wisconsin. So we could be seeing a couple of tornadoes here across portions of the central southern plains up into the Midwest this afternoon and this evening. Let's look here at the noon time frame, and we can see some showers and thunderstorms moving across Iowa, Missouri, down into Kansas and Oklahoma. Some of these could be severe already with damaging winds and hail. A couple of tornadoes will be possible. Go to the 3 o'clock hour this afternoon. We see more scattered thunderstorms developing across Wisconsin, northern Illinois, getting into middle Missouri here down into Oklahoma. Some of these will pack a punch with some tornadoes possible, damaging winds, and hail. And then as we go into the evening hours, this is going to create a big line of storms that produces a lot of heavy rainfall. So flash flooding, as a lot of these storms will be moving over the same areas, will be a concern. In addition, a severe weather threat. So damaging winds, large hail, and a continued threat for a few tornadoes will be possible here into the evening hours. Once we get after midnight, it's going to start to fizzle out as it approaches and moves east of the Mississippi River across portions of Illinois and Missouri. Some of those storms could still stay strong down in Texas and portions of Oklahoma and Arkansas as we go after midnight here into early Wednesday morning. These thunderstorms, like we mentioned, are going to be very efficient rainfall producers, potentially over 2 to 3 inches, especially into Missouri, eastern Kansas, down into Oklahoma and North Texas. And this could lead to some scattered flash flooding across parts of the United States here. That's why the Weather Prediction Center today has a slight risk of flash flooding from western Illinois, southeastern Iowa through Missouri, eastern Kansas into Oklahoma and Texas. Also a slight risk for some flash flooding in southern Florida, where heavy thunderstorms are producing some heavy rainfall this afternoon down in those areas. Now, as we move ahead into Wednesday, tomorrow on June 4th, we have a low-end threat for severe weather up into the Ohio Valley, southern Great Lakes, including places like Detroit, Toledo, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, down toward Carbondale, Illinois, where we have the chance for a few strong thunderstorms with mainly strong winds and some small hail. The tornado threat is very low, and you can see down over here across New Mexico, West Texas, including the Texas Panhandle, and southeastern Colorado, we also have a marginal risk of severe weather. Again, low-end threat for damaging winds over 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail as well possible in some of those same areas. The tornado threat is less than 2%, so it's very unlikely we see any tornadoes tomorrow anywhere across the United States. But nonetheless, up here into the Ohio Valley, southern Great Lakes, tomorrow morning we could be fighting some showers and storms of places like Chicago, Grand Rapids, down into St. Louis. A few of these could be strong with some strong wind gusts and some small hail. The tornado threat again tomorrow morning is very low, and going through the afternoon, mainly scattered storm development. A lot of these are going to be moving over the same areas again, so heavy downpours will be possible. This could lead to some isolated ponding of water on roadways, poor drainage areas, so some flooding will be possible. And notice these storms don't look too intense, so 1 or 2 of these could be severe with damaging winds, large hail, and a very, very unlikely tornado threat. But other than that, not seeing too much up there into the southern Great Lakes, Ohio Valley region. How about the southern plains? We have some storms starting off down there in south central Texas near Austin and San Antonio as we go into tomorrow morning. Those will drop south and really dwindle as they push into the Corpus Christi Christi area by midday. Additional storm development is possible into the afternoon back here into portions of Colorado, New Mexico, into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Some of these could produce some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, some large hail, and a very, again, unlikely tornado threat, and some very heavy rainfall with these storms as well. Now, going into late this week on Thursday, June 5th, a trough is going to start to move in across the upper Midwest, and this is going to bring rounds of severe weather with northwest flow across the southern plains and into the deep south, and this is going to be a prolonged period of severe weather. Thursday, June 5th, slight risk across portions from Amarillo into Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Wichita included. And this extends all the way over to Joplin, Missouri, and Fayetteville, Arkansas, where we could be seeing damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. As we go into Friday, June 6th, similar areas from the Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, and southeastern Colorado through the Oklahoma City area, Tulsa, into Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, and over toward Paducah, Kentucky, where we could be seeing some damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. And then that drops a little bit further south on Saturday, June 7th, where we have more of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texarkana, Little Rock, Oklahoma City again, into Ardmore, all the way into Tupelo, and even into the Birmingham area for potentially damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes on Saturday. So a series of severe weather as we go through late in the week. Here's Thursday. We have a big cluster, a line of thunderstorms developing. This tells me damaging winds and large hail will be the primary hazards with these storms, but a few tornadoes will be possible. And then as we go into Friday, we do it all over again with a cluster of showers and storms developing a little bit further south off the outflow boundary from the previous day. And then we do it again on Saturday with outflow boundary from the previous day on Friday, pushing it a little bit further to the south. So an episode of several days of severe weather is likely later in the week. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings here, and stay tuned to the local weather forecast and also my forecast by subscribing to the channel. As we go to Sunday, June 8th, we actually have more severe weather likely across the deep south, Dixie Alley into the southeast, heavy rainfall with these storms as well, and then rain showers, a few thunderstorms up into the upper Midwest, Great Lakes region as we round out the weekend there on June 8th. Now, as we look at the entirety of the week of rainfall through Monday, June 9th, we could be seeing some very heavy rainfall here in the middle of the country, particularly the Sooner State of Oklahoma. Could be seeing potentially from Oklahoma City down here toward Ardmore, 6 to 8 inches worth of rainfall just between now and Monday, June 9th, and widespread 3 to 6 inches of rain overall through Kansas, Oklahoma, North Texas, Missouri, Arkansas, stretching eastward into Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Illinois, into northern Mississippi and Alabama, and even northwestern Georgia. So a widespread area, 3 to 6 inches of rain going through early next week. Now let's look here at the middle of next week as we have a lot of storm energy. This is your instability starting to build by Wednesday, June 11th, and getting into Father's Day weekend, and this is going to really start to build here. When you start to see these whites, grays, and blacks, that means we're talking instability values of 4 to 5,000 joules per kilogram, plenty to support some thunderstorm clusters. And so as we have the northwest flow across the upper Midwest, we could have daily thunderstorm clusters, and some of these could turn severe, and the derecho risk will start to increase as well across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. A derecho is a fast-moving line of thunderstorms that produces widespread hurricane-force wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater. In extreme instances, they could produce widespread straight-line winds over 100 miles per hour. These also tend to produce hail and tornadoes as well, and that's something we're keeping an eye on for Father's Day weekend across the north, and more heavy rainfall as well. Now, let's look at our temperatures here for this afternoon. We're into the 90s all the way up into the Ohio Valley, like portions of Louisville into Evansville and even Lexington, Kentucky. Low to mid-90s across the Gulf Coast. Cooler as a cold front comes in across the northern plains and upper Midwest. Temperatures back in the 60s and 70s. As we go into tomorrow, the cold front will start to slowly shift east. Warmer temperatures, record-breaking perhaps into the northeast. Temperatures could be in the mid and upper 80s. Then as we go into Thursday, June 5th, Friday, June 6th, we see a lot of those 70s trickling in further east across the Ohio Valley northeast. The heat will be on across the south into the portions of southern Texas, triple digits there on Friday, and we really start to heat up by the time we get to Sunday, June 8th, with widespread triple-digit heat down into the Rio Grande, all the way back to the desert southwest with record-breaking highs possible. Those temperatures down there could approach 110 degrees for multiple days from Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday early next week. And before we go here, the National Hurricane Center still has a 10% chance of hurricane development or any tropical development perhaps across the portions just off the coast of the Carolinas and Georgia. It's a low chance for now, not really looking at anything too significant right now. In the Eastern Pacific, they have increased the odds to above 50-50 to a 60% chance of development just south of the Mexico coast. This means tropical development into a tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane will be likely over the next 7 days in the East Pacific here as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy the forecast. If you did, give it a thumbs up, a like down below. Turn on post notifications as we may have a video on later this afternoon, otherwise tomorrow. And also subscribe to the channels. We do daily weather forecast videos. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day out there.